we cut to a new planet, Morlani system, free trade sector. We're somewhere very different. No rain, no neon, just dirt, dust, corrugated roofs and repurposed ship hulls turned into buildings. Utilitarian, it's the classic Star Wars look. The people have access to galaxy-spanning tech, but they live a hardscrabble life, work with their hands, and are careful about when they use the heating. They can access a faster-than-light drive component more easily than fresh water. It's Mos Eisley if it was a factory town instead of a port. And rolling through this dry little town in the Morlani system is a red tank-tracked droid called B2 Emo, who immediately gets pissed on by a wild space dog before seeing it off with a taser. Welcome to Ferrix. B2 is a droid who stutters, shuffles, and sulks. It's adorable, sure, but tonally, it's odd. He feels like someone dropped Wall-E into Children of Men. He's our emotional canary in the coal mine, with an on-the-nose name in case that wasn't obvious. He shows us that Cassian does have warmth and loyalty in his life. He lives with people. He's not a lone wolf, but also, this is Andor. Even the comic relief has traumatic buffering issues and a dying battery. When B2 calls for a sleeping Cassian, Casa, it triggers a flashback, or a dream. We cut to a girl shouting the name. We immediately assume this is his sister. They speak a different language, which is not translated. Let's take a moment to look at why. As viewers, we're watching something meaningful unfold, but we're not part of it, not fully welcome, not given easy answers. That's how Cassian will feel one day, alienated from his childhood, identity, and place of origin. These early scenes are teaching us. Scene 1 showed us how to pay attention to what you're not shown, and don't assume things are the way they might feel. And now again, Andor is teaching us how to watch Andor. Pay attention to non-verbal communication. Pay attention to group dynamics. Pay attention to tension or trust between characters, if you want to follow this show. Because in Andor, the truth is rarely spoken directly, it's coded, hidden, acted out. Brasso and his sister live in the middle of the forest with a whole tribe of unsupervised children. It's odd. They appear to be a primitive tribe, but they've repurposed what appears to be the artifacts of a technologically advanced civilization. Are their clothes repurposed flight suits? Is this post-apocalyptic? Cass's sister is pointing at a giant starship in Kenari's atmosphere. Even from miles away, the children feel the shockwave as it explodes in the sky and crashes into a distant mountain range. This doesn't just set up backstory, it seeds mystery. Where are the grown-ups? Where do these kids live like this? And what the heck was on that ship? Back in the present, Cassian bandaging bruised hands. He looks wrecked, physically and emotionally. This isn't just a guy that's been in a fight. This is someone who's been running on panic and fumes. B2 rolls up, already anxious, and asks where he was. Cassian shrugs it off. He doesn't want to talk about it. So B2 changes tack, listing off the people who came by while he was gone. Marva, Brasso, Jezzy, Windy. The names blur together for us, but the message is clear. People are looking for him. People noticed he was gone. That list is a pressure point, not just logistically, emotionally. It reminds us that Cassian isn't some lone gunman drifting through life. He has a home, a history, and people who give a damn whether he walks through the door. And he's putting all of that at risk. So he asks B2 to lie for him, not just a vague cover-up, an explicit, memory-altering lie. Say I was never here. Say you didn't see me. And B2 hesitates, not because he doesn't want to help, but because he literally can't until he recharges. His power reserves are low, and carrying out complex deception protocols takes juice. That little sci-fi quirk gives this moment a surprising tension. Lying costs you in Andor, even if you're a droid. At this moment, Cassian crouches down and starts clearing debris out of B2's venting. Most probably missed it, but it tells us a lot. Because even now, even after killing 2 men and facing down the coming fallout, Cassian still sees what his friend needs. He still stops to take care of someone. Not because it helps him, not because it gains him anything, just because that's who he is. And in a story full of secrets, betrayals, and growing darkness, that one moment of basic human attentiveness speaks aloud. Cassian isn't spiraling, he's not turning cold. He's clinging to whatever soul he has left. Cassian steps outside and Ferrix springs to life. It's a working class town, you can feel it. Brick buildings, dusty roads, workers in gloves shouting over machines. It's got a Tarkovsky Does Blue Collar vibe. He finds Brasso, a hulking man with gentle eyes and a proud face who looks like he's spent his whole life doing backbreaking labor and never complained once. Without even a greeting, Cassian launches into his lie. We bumped into each other last night. We drank your hidden stash. I insulted your nog. I fell and got a black eye. It's a full script, practiced but casual, like they've done this kind of thing before, because they probably have. Not this exact lie, of course, but I would suggest lies are the grease that keeps Ferrix turning. The whole town lives in the gaps between rules, bending them, skimming around them, helping each other survive them. Because on Ferrix, survival isn't about compliance, it's about community, protection, discretion. And that means sometimes you don't ask questions. You just say, yeah, sounds about right, and carry on. Brasso plays along. He's not confused, he's not surprised, but he is uneasy. This time Cassian's not just slippery, he's shaken. The black eye, the tension, the timing, it smells wrong. But Brasso doesn't press. He doesn't demand answers. He's resistant for a moment, as this is serious, but only for a moment. And then he adapts, adds to the lie, makes it better. That's what makes this moment special. It isn't just Cassian crafting a cover. It's Brasso choosing to protect him without needing to understand why. Because that's the culture of Ferrix in a nutshell. Everyone's dodgy, but no one's alone. These people have side hustles, black market repairs, unregistered parts. The Empire made life itself illegal, so Ferrix adapted. Everyone's guilty. That's how you stay clean. Brasso is the emotional core of that system, a man who doesn't scheme for himself but will life you in a heartbeat if you're one of his own. He's not thinking just about Cassian, he's thinking about the town, the people, of what might be following Cassian back. His parting line hits hard. Tell your mother she can afford to put the heat on. It was freezing there last night. Make yourself useful. There's no sarcasm, no rebuke, just care, cloaked in banter, wrapped in normality. But the sentiment underneath is simple. If you're still one of us, act like it. Take care of your people. Because that's what Ferrix is built on. Not laws, not systems, not weapons, but warmth, quiet solidarity, and a kind of collective vigilance that never stops watching its own. Just briefly talk through a few of the themes and takeaways from this scene. Oppression isn't always a stormtrooper. Ferrix isn't under direct imperial rule, but the pressure they apply is everywhere. Economic, social, psychological. Surveillance isn't just cameras, it's gossip, favours, and who remembers your face. Secrets have a cost. Cassian has to lie to the people that love him. It's survival, but it's also how you become a stranger in your own life. Power is contextual. In Morlana, Cassian was hunted. In Ferrix, he's still hunted, but also respected. He has history. That makes him vulnerable and dangerous. Spycraft is theatre. Whether it's bribing a droid or scripting a night of drinks, Cassian survives by managing narratives. That's espionage, not gadgets, stories. Rebellion starts in small betrayals. The system is always watching. Ferrix looks like freedom, but it's a place where hiding matters, lying is survival, and power lies in whispers. This is not the dramatic fallout from a double murder, not yet. It's the quiet part, the cover-up, the whisper network, the slow layering of risk. Scene 2 doesn't just move the plot forward, it shows us what rebellion feels like at ground level. Exhaustion, routine, favours, family, surveillance, and a creeping sense that something's going to give. And when it does, Ferrix will need to be ready, or it'll be buried.